What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another deep dive, and indeed this is one that several people had asked about, not just recently, although especially so, but going back, I'd say a year or so, there's been a few people who've occasionally asked about The Cure, and given that I was aware on some level they have a large discography, it's a deep dive I was sort of apprehensive about starting, but again, I've gotten to the point now where I just try to go with the flow, get back through as many deep dives as I can every time I cycle around through everything. If there's ones that I learn have been outstanding for a while, I try to catch up with them, but yeah, ultimately I just keep everything going, so I feel like, this is just part of the process. In any case, I did want to give a shout out to Philip, who once he learned that people had been asking and were keen to do a Cure deep dive, he shared their entire catalog with me, so big shout out to you as always. And the first album, 1979, Three Imaginary Boys. So I'm not sure, again, this is a group that I know basically not at all other than through reputation. Love Cats is the only tune I can think of overtly, and indeed I was trying to think, there's another tune I think I've heard by them, but I had like the name wrong, and I was referencing a Joy Division tune, the Love Will Tear Us Apart, but again, I get it, that's not a Cure tune. So I can't remember what the other track that I'm thinking of is, so there may be another tune along the way where it's like, oh wait, no, this is the one, but going into it, the only one I can think of that I'm familiar with is Love Cats. So yeah, 1979, I wonder, what their sound will be, like if it'll be notably different from the one track that I can recall. Again, knowing the history of pop music from this phase, very late 70s, early 80s, a little bit, and not having heard of the Cure necessarily as being one of the like synth group pioneers, I would expect it maybe to have more of like a new wave kind of rock sound. Either way, again, I have very little or very few expectations in terms of, knowing anything about the group. So yeah, as I said, the first album is Three Imaginary Boys, and the first tune is 10:15 Saturday Night. So it sounds like not only a snapshot in time, but perhaps an implication of a club scene or of a weekend where young people are, out and about in the city, and perhaps part of subcultures, or, it has a feel like a couple tracks I suppose I've reacted to recently, including what's the name of the Human League tune? I reacted to the like bonus version of it recently. Either way, yeah, it feels like maybe that could be the place, but again, not having any knowledge of their music by and large, I don't have a sense for their songwriting or like track title tendencies, so let's get this deep dive started. This is The Cure from their 1979 album Three Imaginary Boys, and the first track is 10:15 Saturday Night. Little breath. Bit of drama to the opening here. Hey. Kind of like an indie rock feel.
10:15 on a Saturday night.
I love it.
Tap drips under the strip light, and I'm sitting in the kitchen sink, and the tap drips, drip, 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 drip. tap trips, trip, 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 trip,
The soft, restrained drama of this moment. Like the balance of the tune. And then from this emerges that That's amazing. So, in a very general sense, it's kind of in the sonic territory I was thinking, though again, even having a prediction that is on some level running in the right direction, the actual experience of it, the actual specific character of it was fantastic and surprising, and it felt like, I don't know, maybe a mixture of like the John Foxx Ultravox, of which I've only heard a very little, and it was mostly live stuff because it was like that EP, what was it, like LP EP or something? It was essentially some live tunes from the period where John Foxx was still the singer. But I felt like maybe that era Ultravox mixed with a bit of Echo and the Bunnymen, maybe mixed with a bit of very early Duran. Just had a really interesting quality. I love the balance. I love the dramatic, a bit, artsy or artful sections mixed with that really energetic run, and in particular the energetic run that had that like enhanced guitar solo. So yeah, just a really cool track, and one that exceeded my expectations in terms of, going into a larger deep dive, especially a group that, has many albums, starting in the late 70s. It's like, okay, like maybe what I'm going to hear won't be, similar to what perhaps I'm thinking until later. Again, I've been going through I've been going through their very early demos, and there's a lot of development you can hear. Their sound, begins to take shape, and ultimately, as I've been going through the demos, perhaps is getting closer and closer to what I think to be their early sound, meaning, I went through their debut album. So again, it'll be an interesting journey to see, the evolution of the group, or how much this does continue to represent at least, one of the flavors of their sound, or how different this might be compared to stuff going forward. So again, I'm very interested in this group, given that it's a name I've known for a very long time, but in a very, very limited sense, and given how many folks who are friends of the channel, including those who, share a lot of musical interests, and, in some cases people who had suggested certain musical interests, but given that there's a lot of folks whose musical opinions I value, who are keen to do this deep dive, I'm very excited to get to it. So once again, shout out to Philip. You are endlessly appreciated. Let me know what you think of this opening track from their debut album, and I will see you next time. Peace.